put this on the tape. You mean to tell me negative 60 degrees outside, you still out there going to work?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no, I ain't doing that.
I didn't say it was smart.
He did say because I'm dumb.
I ain't doing all that, bro. You got
I worked in a steel mill, and it was that place. It literally runs 24/7, like it doesn't stop. And it was one of those things where it's just like you go to work, and I kind of have that mentality for the most part. And we got to work, and like even the hardcore guys were like, "This is like," once the building started to fail around us, we were like, "Okay, this is probably pretty dumb. We should have stayed home."
But that's just crazy right there. Hey, man, look, when it get cold this month, when it start getting like, it was 60 degrees yesterday. And, you know, the breeze kind of feeling good because you're getting a break from that. But, you know, later this month, when it get down in the 50s, time for me to put on that wind. It's time for me to at least put on the windbreaker, bro.
Dude,
I already got the thermal underwears on the way. Amazon Prime. I already got thermal underwears on the way.
Dude, I lived in Tucson back in my 20s, and I remember it gets cold because there's no trees out there really. It's just desert essentially, so there's not a lot of trees or whatever, so nothing blocks the wind. So when it gets down to like 40, it's like kind of chilly, and it's a rare thing though. But like it was getting down to like 50, and I'm still outside in shorts and a t-shirt, and people would walk by like, "You're from Wisconsin, aren't you?" I went, "Yep, yes sir, I am."
Oh, yeah, no. And I never forget when I was stationed at Fort Dix, bro. I never forget that first day we was up there, it snowed. So I'm all, you know, we'll get to see snow down south. So that first day, yay. You know, then the second day passed. Yay. That third day. All right, damn. And you know, in the Army, you gotta fall into a formation in the morning. They don't give a damn how cold it is in the Army. Your ass in the fall in. So the only thing you heard in the morning, hey, time with this shit. Everybody getting up, you know, mind you, all of us from down south. Only thing you see motherfuckers all covered up, juiced up, them big ass jackets in the Army. Now keep in mind, it's only like 30 something up north, but you know, down south we ain't used to that kind of cold. But man, look, good to have y'all back. I know we didn't have a countdown today, man, but we had to get into that, man. We had to get into it, man. Negative 60 degrees. I'm sleeping right next to the damn heater that go on, bro.
Yeah, that was
man, look, we in the state of Georgia, man. Folks get scared. Folks get scared when it drop in the 50s, man. Folks can't drive when it's cold down here. But this my type of year though. This is my season. Because I ain't gonna lie, because I'm a big boy. So you still in, like, it might be 56, 57. You'll still catch me in a t-shirt and shorts. It should give me a chance to pick on some of the skinny people. I'm not even gonna lie.
Hey, you know, man. Plus, you know, it's the winter time, man. It's the winter time. You know, fall time, ladies. Time to bring out them thigh-high boots, baby. Time to bring them out. I'm ready to see. Bring out them. Oh man, my bad.
See.
It's okay.
Oh, my
Don't worry.
It's okay.
She's
eating her Oreos, and then she's gonna go take a shower.
Ooh, boy.
But yeah, bring them out. Hey man, you know bring out the flannels too. By the way, bring out the flannels. Bring back the gachos, if you will. Bring out the gacho pants, if you don't mind. Right before the fall here. You don't know if you know the gachos. Bring them back, man. We want to see that. But look, let's just get right into it, man. Look, big news coming out of the New York Jets, man. Robert Saleh just got fired today. Just got fired this week. And quite frankly, man, I don't understand that move. I don't understand it. It's a weird move because you're only 3-2. You're only 3-2. The season just now gets started. Now I made some promises before we went on the air. So, hey, given who's the big Aaron Rodgers fan, hey, Flash.
I wouldn't say I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Flash, I'm just gonna give you the floor, man. Hold on. Let me give you the floor real quick, and we can go ahead and get you squared away, bro. But yeah, I'm finna get Flash before, and then Flash, you have the floor. What are your thoughts about Robert Saleh getting fired? And do you think Aaron Rodgers had something to do with it?
Oh, of course he did. Absolutely, he did. And the fact that he went on the Pat McAfee show and spewed that nonsense and just lied to everybody. Like, I don't have that kind of power. Like, dude, like you literally sat in Green Bay. Now, I am a Packers season ticket holder, and I've been going to games since 1988. That was my first game. Okay. And I remember, wasn't that long ago, that he was the Packers starting quarterback. And he had a big old press conference about how if he's not in the decision-making process when it comes to free agents and coaches and all that kind of stuff, then just to let him go. Not to mention, then he goes to the Jets and he brings in Randall Cobb, who was over the hill and off injured anyways. He brought in his offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, his buddy, and now and other players. Lazard's there. I know one of the tight ends came with him. So and so now, and on top of it, now we have conflict. Now we have reports now that on the plane ride back from the loss to Minnesota, that Robert Saleh and the other coaches met to take away play calling from Nathaniel Hackett. That was the report. And magically the next day, Robert Saleh gets fired. And now they're still taking away play calling from Nathaniel Hackett. So that organization is a mess. And you're telling me that they were going to take away play calling. Aaron Rodgers is going to sit there on the Pat McAfee show. And look, I get it. It's Pat's buddy. Pat's not going to do hard-hitting journalism, and that's really not Pat's thing in general. But you're telling me that Robert Saleh at 3-2, and by the way, this dude went like 7-9, 7-10 with Zach Wilson as his quarterback. Just want to say that. And his defense has been at least top 5, top 7 since he's been there. Turned around this whole defense.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett. This is supposed to fix the whole offense, make them a Super Bowl contender. And then as soon as Robert Saleh puts his foot down on the offense, he gets fired. Like, there's not even a discussion. The next morning, he's walked out of the building. And that's
what pissed me off.
Yeah, and to sit here and like I got an argument on Instagram with other people talking about like how Rodgers, and there's always the Rodgers, lovers, which is fine. I get it. If you have a boy, you got a boy. But to sit here and say he doesn't undermine coaches, like he literally started off this whole tenure with the Jets by not showing up to a mandatory minicamp. That's undermining the head coach and the whole staff. And saying that I'm better than everybody else and I don't. Regardless of whether you had something planned or you were off doing acid or smoking the ganja or going and doing a sweat booth.
God damn, I can't breathe.
Whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is, whatever extracurricular activities that you're putting in, whatever. And that's more important than winning a Super Bowl. And by the way, there was a clip earlier today about, I wish I could remember the players. And I think it's Andrew Dock. I will give credit on TikTok later. And he talked about how Aaron Rodgers is not Tom Brady. And when he got to New England, he left Cleveland. He's like, I'm going to stick around for a little bit. Maybe I'll get a Super Bowl or something like that. Went to New England, and Tom Brady's working on 3-step drops at 40 years old. 3-step drops, 5-step drops, like menial, like garbage that like rookies work on. And he went, this dude's different. Like, it's different here. This is the reason why he played till he was 45. And if you don't have that same mentality, which obviously Rodgers doesn't, because instead he's going and off to his like booty boot camps and doing, exploring his soul or whatever it is in his dark rooms. instead of wanting to win, which is fine if that's what you want to do, which is fine. But don't get up on a show and treat us all like morons. That's what makes me mad. Don't get up there and treat us like idiots, like we don't know what's going on here and act holier enough. Like I think there's a reason why your whole family doesn't speak to you. Okay, I'm done. That was a little bit more incoherent than I wanted it to be, but yeah.
BRF.
I don't think I really got that much to add. But no, like what made me upset about the whole situation was Robert Saleh getting walked out, not being able to see his team, not being able to talk to the players. I'm like, are we serious now? Like, because I mean, like, yeah, like what Flash was saying, this defense has been perennial top at minimum 7th best since he's been there. And like, yeah, and another thing, I'm gonna piggyback on what Flash said. The dude was competing with Zach Wilson as his quarterback because his defense was basically picking up the load because he was trash to be nice with Zach Wilson as a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, why are you treating him to the extent of not being able to let him talk to his players before he leaves? That is solely an Aaron Rodgers thing, and nobody's gonna tell me any different. Yeah. Ain't no way a coach that is turned. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Add. You can add. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, like, yeah, he had no ability to say bye to his players, say something, nothing. That's all Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh, because exactly.
Then there's a confrontation.
Yeah. What that tells me, Aaron Rodgers got into those folks' heads and just said whatever the heck it was he said to get them to treat Robert Saleh like that. I mean, that's unacceptable. I don't care who the organization is, but it's like I get the whole Hassan Reddick thing, like, but at the same time, still you traded for him, knowing good and well he was wanting a new contract, and you ain't giving it to him. But you know, if you're acquiring him in a trade, he's gonna want that extension, and you're not letting him put the power game on you. But yet, the minute Aaron Rodgers walks into that door, he immediately gets to put the power game on. And I'm just like, oh yeah, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, I get I get the championship, I get the MVPs, but let's be realistic. Outside of that one magical, one of the greatest quarterback playoff runs in the history of the National Football League, what has he done in the playoffs to truly justify this type of treatment from an organization? What has he really done?
Nothing.
To be honest with you, I can understand. Look, I can understand this. My thing is this. I can understand when you have a younger quarterback in his 20s, like I would say 27, 28 years old. He just signed his second contract, and you know that he's going to be in your organization's future for at least the next 12 years. I can understand him having a certain degree of power. Young superstar, young quarterback, because you can best believe Joe Burrow going to have to pull some rank with that organization in Cincinnati. He's going to have to pull some rank one way or another. Either you're going to have to trade me or you're going to have to do something about this business. And I wouldn't blame him if he pulled rank with him and saying, hey, look, I'm not here to lose. I wasn't a loser when I was at LSU. I wasn't a loser when I was at Ohio State. I'd be darned if I come here and lose. So I believe.
Hey, champ, quick thought. You brought up Joe Burrow, and you can attest to this. What I'm about, and you can attest what I'm about to say. 2024 Joe Burrow is 2018 Matt Ryan all over again.
Yeah, that's a video that you need to post.
I am. I really am, and I'm going to because Karen brought it up in the podcast yesterday. I'm probably gonna do something. 2024 Joe Burrow, like the Joe Burrow situation, really puts him in the mind of Matt Ryan. And I saw like a tweet. 2024 Joe Burrow is 2018 Matt Ryan all over again. You started 1-4, ridiculous start with passing yards. Matt Ryan had 11 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow's got 12 to 2 interceptions. The completion percentage was really similar, 68 to 69% completion percentage, because the defense was letting him down and the offensive line was letting him down. But yet, homeboy was still putting up godly numbers.
Joey,
but the team started 1-4.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea, champ. I will be doing a video about that.
I just want to say something else too, but I think one of the most disgusting aspects of the Aaron Rodgers thing is that dude got up on the Pat McAfee show and talked about Robert Saleh like he was a brother, talking about, oh, I hope his kids don't have, and all the people that are applauding this decision, I hope his kids don't have to deal with this when they go to school. And but dude, earmuffs, F you, dude. Like, seriously? Like, how arrogant do you have to be to get up on national television and radio and just sit there and just act like you're Jesus Christ, like you've done nothing wrong? It was just gross.
Yeah.
If I'm some of those New York Jet players right now, I'm looking at how Aaron Rodgers is handling that situation with that organization, like a Garrett Wilson or somebody like that. And I'm like, okay, either y'all get this together, or I'm gonna bounce. I'm not gonna be here for this. And cause just the magic Robert Saleh has worked, turning this defense into one of the perennial powerhouse defenses in the league. And then it's like you get your quarterback. And we were saying this all preseason, all off season. Aaron Rodgers does not have to be great for this team to do something. He just has to play good, competent to be able to put points on the board and let that defense go to work. Oh, and they're lucky, and they are lucky they are 3-2.
Dude, let's not mention, like, he threw 3 picks in the game on Sunday too.
Looked horrible.
So, that's the other part of it too. Like, this just seems like he didn't want to take any type of blame whatsoever for the fact that they were 3-2, or the fact that the offense was just complete. I'm sorry about my words, but complete ass.
He's never been an accountability person.
They had one good game against a terrible New England team. That's it. And everybody's like, wow, that's old Aaron Rodgers. And I'm like, whoa. I even said it on this show too. I said New England stinks. That's another rant that I made a video about that just blows my mind. But it's the other thing too is he wasn't really that great his last year in Green Bay. He was okay. And I want to point out that something that I've been arguing for years, and with a lot of Packer fans. Remember, I live in Wisconsin. So with a lot of Packer fans, I argued for years that 2014 AFC title game or NFC title game that he thought that they lost to Seattle was him and McCarthy's fault. And here's my reason.
The one where Russell Wilson threw it on the walk-off, the walk-off touchdown.
Yeah, you know why? Because that defense and everybody always complained about how Rodgers never had a defense. That defense got Aaron Rodgers and that Green Bay offense 5 turnovers that day. And all you could get was 16 points out of it. You got 5 turnovers, not to mention all the possessions that you got. Do you think if Tom Brady would have gotten 5 turnovers from a team that he would have even let you sniff a comeback? No,
the game over.
He would have curb
2016 Matt Ryan puts 50 on Seattle.
Yeah. So just to sit here and say that, like, well, it's the Legion of Boom. I don't care. You're supposed to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. You know what Tom Brady did against the Legion of Boom? Came back down from 10 twice in the same game. And then what? Yes, you can argue. I know Malcolm Butler, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. But go watch that game and what Brady does in like late in the third and the fourth quarter against like one of the top secondaries and top defenses of this generation.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah. By the way, that was 2 weeks later after Rodgers just crapped the bed. So I'm going to say that, and everybody's like, oh, it's Bostic's fault for dropping it. No. You are supposed. That was when the argument, like when people were starting to sniff around the argument of whether Rodgers was like a better quarterback than Brady, and I just baffled me. And that was even before he won number 4. And I look,
most talented and greatest quarterback is 2 different things.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
And that's like BRF said in the chat. I think
best and most talented are 2 different things.
That's why when Maddie makes these like proclamations about like, you know, Josh Allen over Jim Kelly or Bijan is better than any other Atlanta running back, it's like, yeah, most talented. Yeah, I 100% agree.
Not even the most talented for because I put Mike shots from main man PSP because like I said in the video that I made to respond to him, William Andrews was that dude, Jamal Anderson was that dude.
Yeah,
and if you really put things in perspective, Michael Turner was that dude. Even Devontae Freeman, you gotta. We're measuring him on. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It took me a while to bow down, but Devontae Freeman was better than Jamal Anderson.
What? Say that again, champ. No. You ain't getting off. Say that again.
Devontae Freeman was better than Jamal Anderson.
I agree because of longevity. If Jamal Anderson his knees don't blow out, he's probably got a better career.
If his knee blows out, it's not even this. If his knee does not blow out, Jamal Anderson is a top 3 back in the history of the franchise. If he doesn't ultimately become the greatest, because his running style, if he stays healthy, is just. I mean, what can you do with that? But the reason why I always said Devontae Freeman is a better back than Jamal Anderson. It's not just the longevity. It's not even just the longevity. It's just what Devontae gives you as a whole, as a total package out of the backfield. Being able to run between the tackles, being able to run the outside zone, and then also being able to catch the ball out the backfield and being a threat to take it to the house and whenever he touched the ball at his peak. I'm glad you finally saw the light, champ. I appreciate you, my boy.
I'll make 2 points about that.
Time out real quick.
Oh yeah.
The Minnesota Lynx are tied with the New York Liberty.
In the series?
Yeah, WNBA Finals. They're tied. This game 1.
Okay.
It's game 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I was watching the Niners and
I got that. I'm watching that game right now.
Last time I
looked at 49ers versus the versus the 86 Seattle Sea.
I love the
OC Hulk jersey,
dude. I'm sorry, but like there's a couple like the old school 87 Bronco uniform with the modern look because of like the modern tech and everything. Mwah. The old Eagles from the 80s, the Kelly green looks way better than the green they have now.
Gang green, yeah.
Yeah, the old school Atlanta stuff looks way better than the new stuff they have. All the 80s uniforms looks up. The Giants uniforms with Giants across the helmet. All the old 80s uniforms that we grew up on, especially me, look phenomenal in like the new tech and new because it's slimmer, sleeking. It just looks. All those teams need to go back to those uniforms.
Oh yeah, another shot to PSP. Ruby X. about Aaron Rodgers versus Kirk Cousins for the season. We picked Kirk Cousins because of the leadership. Yeah, and the thing is, like I said earlier, if this was a young quarterback that you knew he was going to have for the next 12 years, I could understand him pulling rank. But you're only going to have him for this year, maybe next year, then it's over. He's up out of there. So it's not like you're going to have him long term. So, I mean, and I hate to make this comparison, because because of my beliefs and everything, but I have to say this. It's kind of like, and I just have to say, it's kind of like selling your soul for short-term money.
Yeah.
It's like you sold your soul for short-term money. I mean, for momentary glory. It's just like, and like I said, it's similar to that. You sold your soul for short-term glory. It is just like knowing that you're going to die soon.
It's really odd.
It's similar to that because year after this, you don't even know who's your quarterback going to be.
No,
you don't know.
Facts.
This offensive line is not that good.
No,
other than Quentin Williams, it's not signed long term.
No, and now you look at it like and Rodgers could just retire. Yeah. It's not like he's hurting, and he's not hurting for money and blah blah blah. And like I said, I don't even think he cares anyways.
Like I said, if he was a young quarterback, like I wouldn't blame Joe Burrow for telling for going to the front office of the Cincinnati Bengals and telling them the same thing that Carson Palmer say. Hey, either you get me some people in here, you can go jump in the lake. I don't blame him if Joe Burrow did that because I knew Joe Burrow was going to, because Joe Burrow's going to be there for the next 10 to 15 years.
Like
minimum 10. Yes. But the thing is, Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to be there. And like I said, it's kind of like selling your soul for it's kind of like selling your soul and you finna die soon. Like, dude, you finna go to hell because of that? Really?
So to kind of circle it back to Rodgers, like when you make the point about Joey B, it's like when Rodgers was talking about was when the McCarthy Rodgers thing was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, most people sided with Rodgers. I was one of the very few that was 50-50. I'm still 50-50 on that. I've been in many arguments that I think that McCarthy gets cracked on as a head coach. And I'm sorry, but that dude turned around Favre's career, completely turned it around. People don't remember the end of the Mike Sherman years with Brett Favre. Favre was terrible, and that team was terrible on top of it. And McCarthy turned that whole team around and Favre's career as a quarterback and helped build. Now, this is Aaron Rodgers' own words, too. Helped build Aaron Rodgers from the ground up to be an NFL quarterback. Because if everybody remembers, Rodgers was a Ted Stafford quarterback, really weird ball mechanics, like just a mess as a quarterback. Good talent, and so McCarthy doesn't get a lot of credit because it's fun to crap on McCarthy.
Yeah.
And I get Rodgers doing it back then that the Packers needed to change. But now you've got a history of this.
Yeah.
Like you had Skip.
Just like Favre.
What?
Just like Favre.
Like Favre.
Remember, he had trouble not only with Mike McCarthy, he had trouble with Brad Childress as well when he went to Minnesota. So, I mean, so like I said, it's getting to a point, and he's worse than Favre because the thing is, the only thing that Favre wanted to do, to his credit, regardless of the off the field, the only thing that Favre wanted to do was play. I just want to play.
Yeah,
with Aaron Rodgers, it's just like he kind of like the CM Punk of football back when he was in the first stint of his WWE career when him and Triple H was feud. It's just like, and Triple H had a point at a certain extent. It's like, yeah, it's always good when it's around you, but what about when it's about everybody else? It's like, come on.
That's
dude.
where I actually compare Rodgers to LeBron.
You can't compare Rodgers to LeBron.
And the fact that the way that that coaches just go in and out and it's all yeah, absolutely.
I can't blame that on LeBron because the thing is this. I will go to my grave saying that he's the GOAT. That not LeBron that Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Oh, me
But
too.
the thing is this. People have to understand the reason why he left Cleveland his first stint.
The first time is fine.
Yeah, the first time.
I get
But
it.
the thing is,
100%.
now I don't understand why he left Miami. I don't understand why he left Miami.
Because
But
Pat
the
Riley
thing-
told him no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why he left Miami. I think he could have won more championships in Miami.
I
But
agree.
when you think about that Laker organization, I don't blame him for a lot of that. The Lakers have been firing coaches ever since Phil Jackson at a rate of one every 2 years. And they was doing that even before LeBron even got there. And that is the reason why I don't blame him for that. Man,
That's a
because
fair- yeah,
the
but
Lakers have been in disarray. They've been in disarray. They have not been the same since the great Dr. Buss passed away. So I don't compare him to that. And the thing is this, when you're on a team like that, when you had LeBron in his peak, as a coach, you're expected to win damn near every single year, or at least get to the finals every single year.
But my big thing is like you won a title with
Frank Vogel.
with Vogel, who Vogel's a really good coach. Why did he go?
Because of the Laker organization. That's the Laker organization at its peak, being impatient, unrealistic, and unfoundable. You can't blame. I can't. Like I said, I don't. People always talk about LeBron this and LeBron that since he came to the Lakers. I blame a lot of that on the organization. My thing is the organization has not found its footing.
No,
I mean, there's no free agents that's coming. Back when Dr. Buss was alive, you saw free agents. You saw big trades. You saw trades that made sense, that had superstars coming to LA. You know, that's what you saw.
Yeah.
So the thing is this, with that organization, that organization is a mess. There's no, in the great words of Joe Clark, and you know this movie, Lean on Me, there should only be one boss in that organization, and that should be Jeannie Buss. Instead, there's a lot of innuendo about a lot of other bosses being in that organization, and that's the problem with the Lakers. I mean, and hey, now on the court, sometimes you can, but the thing is with that organization, no. Now, if he was in Miami and you know stuff was happening like this, you could say that, because that Miami franchise is stability. You know who the boss is. The boss down there is Mickey Arison and then Pat Riley. You know who's the boss. In the Laker organizations, you don't have a boss.
but that's kind of I think that's kind of the problem, is that like LeBron and Miami had structure, somebody that was willing to say no to him. Like, you think Pat Riley would have brought on LeBron's son? No.
But the thing is, you got to understand that goes back to Laker organization,
Yes.
similar to them being
Right.
the Dallas Cowboys.
So-
They want
so if-
headlines instead of wins. But
If
like I
a
said,
marriage-
I don't blame that on LeBron. I blame
do,
that
because
on that
it's a
organization.
marriage. It's you've been in the league for 20-some years now. Like, at this point, you should know better. So it's two dysfunctional ideologies that have married each other now. So I put the blame on both. I agree. The Lakers have been a mess since Buss passed away. They have been. They've been a mess. And instead of actually building, I still maintain that the trade for Anthony Davis was stupid. I think they would have had
stupid in the sense of, I don't think it's stupid in the sense of they wanted a championship, they got it. But the thing is, I don't think they should have broke up that entire young core in order to get it. Because if you really look at it, every last one of those guys went somewhere and did something.
And if you put LeBron as point forward with all those young dudes around him, he doesn't have to play as many minutes as he's been doing the last handful of years. Like,
they did the same. The thing is, like I said, it's the same thing all over again for that organization. Then we get back to football.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Kobe. You know, these get rich quick schemes. It's like, hey, I'm going to bring this guy in. We're going to bring this guy in. Remember, they brought in Antoine Jameson, guys like that, in order to try to get Kobe back to a finals, because they're trying to, do a quick fix. And the thing is, they haven't been doing very well in the draft any damn way. So it's not like, so that's the way they're looking at it. Well, shit, we ain't been doing good in the draft anyway. We might as well draft him. We haven't been doing that well.
No.
So the thing is, hell, why not? So I don't blame that franchise on LeBron. I can't really compare LeBron to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a super diva. I have never seen a guy clash with you clash with the coach that brought you in, that you came in with. Then you clash it. Then after that, you're clashing with Matt LaFleur. Then Matt LaFleur, you was clashing with him before you left. In the Jets building, you're not in the building one damn minute. You weren't in the building. You ain't even in the building one damn minute. And you just whining and whining and whining. It's like Bret Hart in 1997. It's crazy.
Well, that's like
I can't put him in that same category. I can't put him in that same category because the thing is, like I said, there's a difference between wanting to win and just sitting out here just whining. Every place you go, you have a problem. You have a problem everywhere you go. You should still be in green. You should have retired a Packer. You were the toast of the town. They gave you everything.
But how often that never happens where a player, even a great quarterback, Brady, Montana, Unitas.
The thing is about what Brady is this. The thing about Brady is this. They was trying. It was coaching and everything else, clashing and everything like that.
Well,
coaching
you can't have
stuff like that. The coach wanted to move on. It wasn't a case of Brady wanted to move. Brady had his way. He probably would have stayed in New England, want to know. But the thing is, when you're clashing with coaches, when you are just, it's always something with Rodgers. It's kind of like having one of these little brothers that are. It's like he's like a hypochondriac. It's all the time something wrong.
Well,
get off the bottle and chill out.
If he's playing great, like here's the thing. Like let's kind of like role reverse this a little bit. Let's say he's playing great, and let's say he's playing great, and the defense stinks. Then there's somewhat of a case. But let's say they're 2-3 and Rodgers is playing great and the defense stinks. Okay. Maybe.
Not really, because the thing is, look, he's not. If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. He's not playing well.
That's true.
He's not doing good. He threw 3 big interceptions there because he's out of sync with his receivers. He doesn't know where the receivers are going to go. People keep asking Matt Ryan and guys like that, what does he need to do about? They need to get on his page. No, he need to get on his receivers page.
Yeah, that's why those mandatory mini camps are important.
That's why those mini camps are there.
Yep.
That's why we let's just keep it all the way 100. That's why we rehearse before we get on this damn platform. That's how come we have scripts that we follow. So stuff like this won't happen. So for him to be, for a 40-year-old quarterback that wield that type of power is crazy. And shout out to PSP, he said, I honestly feel if you put back on the Jets, he would get the most out of the Jets. Hey, the way he's playing with the Colts right now, he probably would. So he said, or the Shawn Michaels of the early Shawn Michaels of the NFL. That's true. RDJ, what's going on? And we don't have the assets in order to do that, bro. But let me ask this question until Flash rejoins us, man.
Sorry.
I gotta ask you a question, man. It's all good. Is A-Rod done? I'm gonna go first on this one. I think so. And I'm gonna just be real. To follow up on what PSP asked earlier, I think they should get ready to draft either Cam Ward or Quentin Ewers. Get you a young guy in there and build around him. I know it's New York, but look what patience got the Giants as far as what Eli Manning is concerned. Got you 2 Super Bowls. Be patient. Be kind. And just find your way with these quarterbacks. And don't overpay for assets that you don't need. Like trying to go get Devontae Adams. Hell, they can't throw the ball with these young receivers. What the hell you think Devontae Adams going to do?
If they end up trading for him, and like you know who's running that show. I mean, we already know, but
if he trades for Devontae Adams, then I'm gonna just be real. Look, hey, if a 40-year-old quarterback can wield that type of power, that is a shame. Because, like I said, it's not like you're gonna be in the organization long term. If you were, like I said, and I go back to Joe Burrow, and I hate to keep going back. If you were like Joe Burrow or some of these guys, or even Josh Allen, you know, if Josh Allen go to the Buffalo Bills and say, hey, man, you need to go trade for Devontae Adams right the hell now, or I'm going to retire tomorrow. I could understand that. You're not going to find another Josh Allen. But guess what? This is a 40-year quarterback. He wasn't that good his last year in Green Bay, and now we're giving him the whole farm and the pigs to go along with it, and you wonder why everybody's starving.
Fresh off an Achilles rupture too. That's the thing though. It's not like he played. It's not like he has a full season under his belt with the Jets. He's got like 4 minutes before this season.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody thought that he was going to come out there like Kirk Cousins did, and because he was Aaron Rodgers, he was just going to be able to mimic that, and that's not always the case.
Yep. Nope.
Hold on, champ. Froze up on us.
He said it on PSP's podcast. Yeah,
okay.
My bad. Kirk Cousins was around that Atlanta franchise the whole damn season. He was around them the whole damn season. He was around them in the offseason. When the draft was going on, he was there.
Yeah.
When Michael Penix got drafted, guess who the first person who called him outside of the organization? It was Kirk Cousins. That's how you show class, and that's how you show dignity, and that's how you show that, hey, I'm going to a new environment. Let me show them who I am.
Brady,
rather than going into a new environment and you trying to wreck shit up the minute that you get there.
Brady, when he officially signed with Tampa, the first thing he did was ask for every teammate's phone number.
Exactly, and that's what you're supposed to do. Instead of going to these organizations and you got wind in your jaws already, acting like, you know, who shot John. Stop doing that.
I've argued. When I used to get that argument with all the Packer fans here, I used to say, like, look, the reason why Rodgers will never be as good as Brady is because Brady Brady is an arrogant, blah, 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 blah. You have to be that good. It's like Jordan. You have to be that good. But the difference between Brady and Rodgers is Brady has enough of a good soldier in him to fall in line. Enough. Rodgers doesn't have that in him. Brady has. See? Told you. Just go off and do your stuff.
Oh, shout out to my boy Whit, man. I know I can count on him.
That was Favre that was on that stuff. Rodgers is on
Perk Rodgers.
No, Rodgers is on those Indian reservations.
Paul was on Viking. He was on Viking.
Yeah, he's on. That's true. He was on Viking.
But no. Hey, was that rumor true? You from Green Bay? So rumor had it that, you know, Brett Favre, he was fresh out of rehab, right? And so they had to pull his tooth, and they had to do it with no Novocaine so he wouldn't get back addicted to Viking.
I've heard that story. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Ooh, hell no! Somebody pull your damn tooth.
Oh, he told. So I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember him telling a story when he was deep in his addiction, and I think it was like '96. I think it was the Super Bowl run. It was 96 or 97, but he was deep, and he remembers his addiction was so bad. He told this story. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Him throwing up pills and literally him grabbing the pills out of the throw up and trying to ingest them back into him, like to try to take them again. Like that's how bad his addiction was. But yeah, I remember though, like I mean, I don't want to get off on the whole, you know. That's true. You're right. He did say he did play on purpose.
Yeah,
he did.
The Green Bay quarterback ain't easy. Hey, just like Pippen, it ain't easy.
No, but that's true. We got them negative 60 days up here.
Yeah. Does that hurt? I mean, this sound like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm from Georgia, so when I went to New Jersey, when I got stationed up there, it was just kind of crazy. It was a rude awakening. It's just like when you walked outside, it was 20 degrees outside in New Jersey. It's like somebody threw a bunch of knives at you at one time, and it just like it was crazy. I could just imagine how cold it is in Green Bay. Negative 60, like you said earlier. Hey, BR, if you think Aaron Rodgers is done.
Well, I mean, his elite days are definitely over. And honestly, him being like a good serviceable quarterback, honestly, ain't looking too hot right now either. I think he's still a serviceable quarterback in the league, but it's the standpoint of he's got to be in the situation. He's got to be surrounded by like really good talent all around him on offense at this stage in his career. Like he's not the franchise carrier he was early in Green Bay. Those days are done. I still think he can be serviceable, but let me tell you something. The trajectory he's going right now, he ain't really convincing me that he could play another year or so. So you know what? I think he's done too. I really do.
He needs an elite offensive line. I don't think he needs elite wide receiver talent. Like he doesn't need elite. I think the guys that he has right now would be enough, but he needs elite offensive line play. And
I agree with that.
And he needs to get rid of Nathaniel Hackett.
He need to suck that pride up and let that man go because he showed you he was in Denver. He ain't it.
No,
I don't understand did he win the MVP with Nathaniel Hackett?
Yeah,
he did.
He did, but I think that's why everybody made the argument like it was a good choice to bring this dude in as OC, which I understand that argument, but I don't solely blame Nathaniel Hackett. The fact that they haven't put together an offensive line on this team is just criminal. It really is. Like that's the biggest thing that I never understand. Like it's the same thing in Cincinnati. You have a top flight quarterback. Now you can argue whether I don't think he's top flight anymore, but I'm saying just name recognition at the time when he's brought in. The fact that you don't go and fix the offensive line, that's your immediate thing. Like that's a thing that just it's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time besides Tom Brady is Don Majkowski. And that man's career was ruined by the fact that the Packers had a terrible offensive line. I mean, that dude was running for his life all the time.
Don Majkowski.
Yeah.
He was fast as hell, too, man.
Yeah.
He was fast as hell. You know, come out there with that mullet, man.
The Magic Man.
Yeah, the Magic Man.
I got an autographed frame jersey up in my bar room, dude. That's besides Brady, that's my boy. That's my first ever. He's my first ever sports favorite. I guess you could say superstar, love, whatever you want to call it. Like that was my boy. That was my guy. Don Majkowski. That was my.
What's so fun about that is he led the league in passing with Mike Holmgren before Brett Favre came in and kind of Wally pipped him. But hey, would Devontae Adams make a difference? We're going to get into that right this instance because hey, where is he going to end up? Hey, I don't think he's going to end up anywhere this year because I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I mean, until Adam Schefter drops a bomb, I don't think it's really going to be too much, man. I believe it's a lot of innuendo. The main team that needs a wide receiver right now is in their division. I don't think they're trading Devontae Adams to the Kansas City Chiefs unless they give up 2 first-round picks. Then ain't nobody trying to hear that. But I don't think Devontae Adams is going too much of anywhere. I don't think that the Jets should. Hey, you need offensive line. You got enough skill position players.
Yeah.
In order to help. You have enough. I mean, it's just like I said with, and I always like to put my Atlanta Falcons into a situation where, oh yeah, should Atlanta get them? I don't think so, man. It's just like you have enough as it is. Don't disrupt the team chemistry of that team or anything like that. I don't think they should. I mean, when it comes to Atlanta. And like I said, in New York, you have enough. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Breece Hall. You have, players like that. You have enough. If you can't get those players to damn ball because you couldn't build chemistry with them, what makes you think you're going to do anything else with Devontae Adams? Now, I understand he was part of some of your best years in Green Bay, but guess what? I mean, it's those days are gone. And my thing is, you got to ask yourself, are you going to get in the same Devontae Adams? Because the thing is, you waste a second-round pick, third-round pick, guess what? That's taken away from your future that you can get an offensive line. It's taken away from your future where you can get a late-round quarterback. It's taken away where you can get a late-round running back. And like I said, you can't even get the ball to receivers you have right now. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like us going to a barbecue right about now. Ain't nobody eating the food, but all of a sudden somebody say, hey, I'm going to bring some lobster. Well, ain't nobody eating the food we already got here. What difference is you going to bring your lobster is going to do? Nobody's eating the food. So it's weird. But what do y'all think?
Right now, as far as Devontae, it wouldn't shock me if he didn't go anywhere. It wouldn't at this point now. It wouldn't shock me if he just finished the year out in Vegas. And then I think, is he still under control with Vegas?
Under contract?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me check the contract.
Let me look up his contract real quick.
Yeah, I got my phone. That's the reason why I be checking the stats and checking the the New York Liberty just dropped game 1 to the Minnesota Lynx.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he signed a 5-year deal with Oakland. I'm going to say Oakland. I know it's Las Vegas, but in my mind and heart, it's still Oakland. He is signed through 2026.
Okay, so basically he still got two. Okay, so basically Vegas still got 2 years of control. Don't rush to trade him then. Wait until the offseason.
Well, here's the thing. They do have a potential out, but it results in $15.5 million and dead cap. Well, the potential out is in it's after 2024. So I'm assuming when the June 1st or whatever turn of the new season, he could be a June 1st cut. Me personally, I think the destination was New Orleans until Derek Carr got hurt.
Yep.
That was it. The only other team that I could see him going to, and it's the team that I've been saying since the start of this, was Buffalo. That was the dark horse team.
Yeah, Buffalo. Another dark horse team, and I think we could bring it to the conversation. Jacksonville.
Yeah, but would he want to go there? That's why I don't think he's going to go to the Jets, because I don't think he actually wants to go play with Rodgers, because Rodgers could be done in a year or after the year. So why would you go? You're going to have the same thing that happened. He just went to Oakland or Las Vegas or whatever, and then all of a sudden Derek Carr just poofs. I can't think of any other team that where it makes sense for. I mean, Cincinnati.
No. Why would you do that knowing you got to pay Jamar Chase and you got T. Higgins on basically a franchise on a franchise contract? Nah, that would make no sense.
Didn't Chase sign his contract?
That's just a greedy move.
No Chase ain't signed yet.
No, they ain't signed Chase yet.
That's
like
Jamar Chase ain't signed yet. He just playing. He's not signed.
Yeah, the thing is, and that is why I said earlier, and that's why you see, and that's one of the main reasons why the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase contract. That is the main reason why I said if Joe Burrow went to their front office and pulled rank and said, if you don't trade or get my boy signed, I'm out of here, I wouldn't blame it.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Because that's how
you know how many teams would line up for Joe Burrow?
Hey.
Oh, dude.
Hey, I know one team that can use him right now. You know what I would do? Man, I know it's a stretch. You know what I would do? If I was the 49ers, I'd give him a call. I'd give you 4 first-round picks for him.
4? Holy balls.
I give you 4. Because I got Kyle Shanahan. I know I'm finna win. I know I'm finna win at least 3. I know with him, I'm finna
4?
Yes, I would trade 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow. 4.
I don't know about that one. I'll give you 2 1s and 2 2s.
No. You know who what I do?
4.
You know what the team that I would force Tua to retire. And then if I'm Miami, that's the
They're not
Joe Burrow goes to Miami Dolphins. You shake that whole league up.
Dude. Other than that, like,
yeah, I would give him 4 first-round picks if San Francisco, because that's not to say Brock Purdy is not looking good, but the thing is, it's Joe Burrow. You know, I give you 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow.
Wow. Joe Burrow in San Francisco or Miami, good Lord, bro.
Yeah, and with Kyle Shanahan at the helm.
Honestly, I think San Francisco be the better. Honestly, I think San Francisco be the better fit.
Yeah. So if I'm San Francisco,
I would love to see Joey B in Miami, though. I know it'd kill my Patriots for the next decade, but
he would.
But I'm looking at the league right now, and the teams that need a quarterback right now. Like I just go through just real quick. The Giants, like, there's no way if I'm Joey Burrow, I would go to the Giants. The NFC North, everybody's good on quarterbacks. And NFC South, only team is Carolina, and there's no way you want to go.
We're not going there.
The NFC West, you could argue maybe Seattle just to replace Geno Smith, but the rest of the teams, yeah, you could argue Samson. You could trade for Purdy, but here's the thing. Here's the advantage of Purdy. Purdy's not going to get a gazillion-dollar contract like a Burrow or whatever. So you're going to save money with Purdy in the long run, and you're going to be able to keep a really good team around him. But I get it, though, if you're going to trade for Joey B, though. Like, then you go to the AFC. They're not going to trade within the division, because if I was Pittsburgh, I would throw a truckload at them to do it. Or Cleveland. Like, I would somehow, some way, like Goodfellas to Deshaun Watson, like somehow that he just disappears. And Cleveland's like, oh, I don't know what happened to him. It's just, Deshaun Watson just walked off somewhere. He went and got a massage or something. And then he just disappears. The
only problem with Cleveland though, is even if they would have found out, that dead money hit would be historic.
Yeah, dude, it's so.
Well, the thing is, if they found out, if he was to get suspended by the NFL, and you can best believe they're trying to find some on that ass.
Oh yeah,
they trying to. Find
they are.
Hey, I'm gonna quote a famous movie. If he do so much as wipe his ass sideways, they gonna suspend him.
Oh yeah,
I'm just gonna be. If he do so much as wipe his ass sideways, they gonna suspend him, and then he can kiss that guaranteed money goodbye. Now you're out of there. So I'm just being real. You laughing, but I'm
is that?
Yeah, I know, man. But you're right, though.
I call this when they did it, because I still maintain it was stupid. Is that the worst transaction and contract in history?
No.
The
Ricky Williams trade.
Dude, all guaranteed money, and I
think this has surpassed the Ricky Williams trade.
So
I was with you.
And a work the next year.
But hear me out though. The reason why I didn't think it had surpassed the Ricky Williams trade, it was because I wanted to see what Baker Mayfield was going to do, because it's the Baker Mayfield, and you have to use this now. It's the Baker Mayfield effect and what he was going to do, because you drafted this man number 1 overall. And then you let him go because, in y'all's words, you need an adult in the room. So I don't know what made you go get Deshaun Watson, but you went and got Deshaun Watson. So now, not only is he not even returning the investment on $230 guaranteed $1 million? Baker Mayfield just played himself into a 9-figure contract and is playing by far the best football of his career. Now, I get injuries. I get he's had to move around a couple of teams, and he kind of he refound his footing with the Rams, and then gets to the Buccaneers with offensive structure, and he's doing his thing. But even still, if you were patient enough to let Baker Mayfield get healthy, he could be doing this for you. So now, not only are you stuck with a bad contract, you let your number 1 overall pick quarterback go to another team, and has taken them to the playoffs, won a playoff game, and now they're right back in the thick of it for the NFC South. This is why I say this trade has now passed the Ricky Williams trade. Because now not only are you stuck with a bad contract, you look like a dummy because you weren't patient enough to let your number 1 overall quarterback get healthy, and now he's thriving while you're stuck with the worst contract in all the professional sports.
And I want to point out, I want to go through the picks that they gave up. They gave up 3 first-round draft picks. When New Orleans,
that many?
Yeah. They gave up the 2022. They gave up the 2022, the 2023, and 2024.
Wow.
Not to mention a 4th, a 3rd, and another 4th. And they gave him that contract. And you got rid of a quarterback that you drafted number, just like a BRF said. You got rid of a quarterback you drafted up number 1 overall. That was one bad call away from getting to a Super Bowl over Mahomes.
And I'm glad Flash brought up the Houston aspect of this trade, because Houston, thanks to Cleveland, has CJ Stroud, has Tank Dell, has Will Anderson. And let me tell you something. If John Minchie was to get healthy and was to contribute anything to Houston, oh, bro, it's out the park. This Deshaun Watson trade, I think, is the worst transaction in the history of sports. It's because now it's affected 2 other franchises who got better while you, even though Cleveland still has a talented defense, your offense is like stuck in the mud. So
and I think
it's surpassed the Ricky Williams trade.
And I'm looking right now at the Williams trade. So it was 2 firsts. And it was a 12th overall pick that Chicago. How did it work? Oh, was this a 3-team deal? Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. Sorry.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. New Orleans just had picks from Chicago. Okay, so Washington later traded they traded the 12th pick and the 3rd round pick in 1999 away to Chicago. Nothing that they did out of those picks they got. The only guy of consequence really that they got was LeVar Arrington with the 2nd overall pick in 2000.
Exactly.
That's it. Houston literally did a 180 with their whole franchise. And literally, not only did they get a better quarterback, and I'll say it right now, he is a better quarterback and will be a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. He's also a better person, like by leaps and bounds. Better
because
person.
if you listen to his speech,
yes,
you can attest to this. That's a marvelous young man.
That's a marvelous young man.
I'm glad. Look, big ups to the NFL. I gotta say this, bro. I'll be remiss. Big ups to the NFL for not editing out what he's saying. Don't edit out what he's saying. Let him say it.
Yep.
Because I agree with it. Let him say it. Let him praise the name of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Let him praise it. I mean, because guess what? You got motherfuckers in the NFL doing a hell of a lot worse than saying that. So guess what? Oh shit! Did you see that?
What happened?
I'm looking at it.
The interception.
No.
Damn,
yeah.
Gino, damn, Gino, did you just is that New York, Gino, or is you still in Seattle?
He's had a bad game tonight.
Yeah, it's been ugly. But yeah, man, let them praise God. Hell, you got folks out here doing stupid crap. If you want to edit out that speech, that's some bull jive. Don't do that.
And they don't. They
did it last year. Let's just call it like we saw it.
They did. Yeah. Well, I remember all the controversy that Tebow used to get too when he used to do his thing. So I mean, as much as Tebow, and as much as Tebow was beloved, but CJ Stroud, I guarantee the reason why they're not doing it anymore, he's too much of a good ambassador for this league.
And then, they let Ashton Jeanette, and they're not cutting it out where Ashton Jeanette says anything.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to get religious on the podcast, but I'm just saying I'm glad they're not editing that out. Because, hell, you show every damn thing else on television. Let that man praise God. So, just being real.
Yeah.
You show every damn thing else. You show everything else on TV except somebody getting burnt with an iron. So, show him praising God.
I think at some point, I think he is going to be like, I know Mahomes is the face of the league right now, but I think that kid is slowly going to be like the 1A face of the league.
Yeah.
I think that
if he wins the Super Bowl,
if he wins a ring, yep,
win a ring, yeah. Especially in Houston, a team
especially Houston, yep,
yeah. That teammate. People don't understand, man. That teammate was 20 years old. I'm older than that damn team. So, I'm older than that damn team. That team wasn't around, but I think that they went into they went into a franchise.
The first year was 2002.
Yeah, they're only 22 years old. So I mean, especially with how Houston, the Oilers moved out of the organization. But I think that'll be great. I mean, especially you can bring a Super Bowl to a town that ain't had a championship since the 1990s with Clutch City. Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be good. Real quick before we move on to bad blood. Jaden Daniels versus Lamar, rookie of the year versus potential rookie of the year versus the reigning league MVP, man. How y'all think this game gonna shake out? Because this is the game of the week, if you ask me. I can't wait to see it.
I'll start. I think like we were talking about it yesterday on Brandon's pod. I personally am agreeing with a lot of them saying that this is going to turn into a shootout. I think this is ultimately going to turn into a shootout, and the reason why I ultimately think it's going to turn into a shootout is because both secondaries right now are playing god awful, and with Baltimore, they want to win off of the back of Derrick Henry being able to slow the pace down and keep the Washington offense off the field. But I think with Washington's case and the way they're operating on offense, and this is what I've been saying about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a very good processor. He's a really good processor. He knows how to go. He goes through his progressions. He knows how to find the right guy, find the open guy, and hit him. And we know about the athleticism. I mean, good gracious, what he did to the Cincinnati Bengals was criminal. That one play where he juked that dude out his shoes. That's criminal. No player should be allowed to do that. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's ultimately going to turn into a shootout. I do think, however, that Baltimore wins this game because I just feel like at the end of the day, you have to go with in a situation like this, I feel like you want to go with the veteran team here, understanding that they're going on the road, and it's like they understand how to play in situations like this, even with an up and coming team like the Washington Commanders. I ultimately think Baltimore's going to win because I do think they're going to make more plays, and I feel like Baltimore's front seven at some point is going to step up and make a big play during this game. But I think this is going to be one of the better games we see this week. I think it's ultimately going to turn into a shootout. I think both quarterbacks are going to go light. I think both quarterbacks are going to play well. It wouldn't shock me at all if both quarterbacks throw for at least 250 in this game. I think both quarterbacks go for at least 250. I just think I just think Baltimore, at the end of the day, their veteran guys are going to step up in a game like this and kind of take hold and do what they need to do to come out of Washington with a win. Would it shock me if Washington won this game? No, because like I said, Baltimore's secondary is not that good. But I think Baltimore ultimately has the veterans to come into a game like this to make the necessary plays to pull this out. I think it's going to be ultimately a shootout. I think Baltimore wins, though.
Flash, what do you think? Oh yeah, the Yankees won tonight, by the way. Yankees.
Yeah, they put the Royals. Then they put the Royals out. Yeah.
Damn. The hell they had to do. I can't stand the Yankees. My bad. Go ahead.
All right, I get it. I'm going to ride my prediction that Washington is going to be the number. Crap, at this point, they might win the division. But I said it in our NFL preview that I thought Washington was going to be second in this division.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
I'm going to ride it, and I'm going to say that they're going to outperform right now. They're playing the best out of that whole division by far. And
they're the most consistent
by leaps and bounds. And I'm gonna make another hot take off of Washington. I think Jaden Daniels will be a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, and it won't take us.
No,
I'm gonna tell you why.
Let's hear it.
Because Lamar.
Wait a minute. They'll put you on the big screen on this.
Because Jaden Daniels is already showing right now that he can throw inside and outside and throw from the pocket and make multiple reads where it's taken Lamar Jackson good handful of years to get there, and he's still not quite there yet. Jaden Daniels is so much more comfortable in the pocket and so much more of has that pocket like presence in him. And I don't mean running quarterback wise. Like Dan Marino had a phenomenal pocket presence. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning had phenomenal pocket presence. But if you go watch Jaden Daniels and him go through multiple reads and he's able to throw not only inside the numbers but outside the numbers, and give it 3 years, he'll be a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Oh hell yeah, this game clip.
But hey, Flash ain't wrong. Because, listen. Flash. But I'll say this though, Flash isn't wrong from the standpoint of. I was saying that, Champ, when you did the video talking about Bo Nix and Michael Penix about who should the Falcons go, even though they ultimately said Michael Penix, I said Jaden Daniels for the reasons we are giving. Jaden, because Jaden Daniels was already one. I looked at film on Jaden Daniels. I watched him. And I said it. One of the most surprising things about him coming out of college is his ability. When you see guys like that who are athletic and can take off at the drop of a hat, they are more often than not one read and go guys. Jaden Daniels is not a one read type of quarterback. He can go first, second, third read. If it's not there, then take off. He has already shown a really good pocket presence in college and early in his career in the National Football League. So Flash is not wrong. It's definitely a hot take saying he's going to be a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson in 3 years. But the fact that he's already this advanced in his ability to read defenses and scan through his progressions, that's going to go a long way in his development.
You have to again, there's two things that will never go away in this league. Okay? One is the running game. The running game will never go away. It will always be important, especially late in the season and in the playoffs. That running game is extremely important, no matter how much of a passing league this has become. Even though I still think even though I think it's now trending back a little bit towards the running back.
Yeah.
And two, pocket passing.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much we get to, we evolve and the quarterbacks evolve to running quarterbacks, you still have to be able to throw from the pocket. It doesn't. That will never ever go away. You will. It's a thing that it's a skill that you have to develop. Unfortunately, this game is too fast, and the players are too big, and the beating that you take as a running quarterback, it's too much. You have to be able to throw from the pocket. And Jaden Daniels, comparably to Lamar Jackson at this stage in their career, Like I'm talking about Lamar Jackson in his 5th game versus what Jaden Daniels is now is leaps and bounds ahead of what Lamar Jackson was at the same time. So that's why I'm saying give it 3 years. And as long as Washington keeps a decent team around him, now that's the big thing. Do they keep a decent team around him? Yes.
This is a new regime.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to do, I'm going to just be real. Magic Johnson ain't about losing. And neither is Josh Harris. So I don't think that I think they're going to keep a good team around him, especially, him being in Washington, D.C., a lot of history there. Doug Williams is an executive there, Chocolate City. So they're going to definitely keep a good team around him.
3 years.
And he's box office. I mean, they don't, in Washington, they don't have nothing else.
No.
They don't have
Jaden Daniels is already like in the 70th percentile as far as the completion percentage with the offensive line he has now. You improve that offensive line with the way he's already throwing the ball at a high level in his completion percentage. Ain't no telling where that team could go if you improve that offensive line.
Yep. Hey, man. I always say this, quarterback is always important. But that offensive line, the most important position on that field, just being real. The only position that it's not predicated on anybody else to make them better. They make everybody else a hell of a lot better than they already are. And it shows each and every year. But, hey, to see them catch the Cowboys.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that first matchup with Washington and Dallas. I am so ready for that first matchup. When I hope Jaden Daniels carved them boys up something. Ooh, boy, they lucky they got it back. I hope Jaden Daniels carved them boys up the first matchup so bad. I can't wait.
If he wins this division, I gotta ask this question before we move on to Bad Blood.
He's an MVP candidate if they win the division.
Well, not only that, I gotta ask this question. If he wins this division, we already know it's going to be questions asked about Dak. That's a given. He plays for the most glamorous team in the NFL. We already know this. Are they going to start asking questions about Jalen Hurts if he wins this division? Considering all of the weapons they went and got. They went and got Dotson. They went and got Saquon Barkley. Their offensive line is still top of the line. That defense, shaky but decent. Are they going to start? Is it time to start asking questions about Jalen Hurts if, Jaden Daniels is to win this division? I got to ask that question before we move on to Bad Blood.
I think Philadelphia. I think the way the Philadelphia fans are made up, I think they're questioning him now.
Because of the turnovers or overall?
I think that question was that can was opened last year.
Yeah, that collapse after starting 10-1, almost definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm. Is it? I don't think it's Hurts though.
I think it's Nick Sirianni.
I think it's more Sirianni.
I think so too. I'm leaning that way. I'm not saying it's all Sirianni's fault, but I really don't think it's Hurts' fault. Like something's wrong in that locker room. Something's just off.
You could be an offensive and defensive coordinator merchant because this team ain't been the same since they left. Since Shane Steichen and the other defensive coordinator left, this team has been just, I don't know what to say. It's just like, ugh.
It's not
that high-powered offense that we saw when they went to the Super Bowl. And you know what? Gotta say this, man. People kept saying it's the easiest path to the Super Bowl. I mean, now that you're looking at it, it has to be. And you got to ask yourself, if you're not able to win within the next couple of years, especially with Saquon there, have you missed your window at a certain point? And was that your one window in order to succeed?
Here's why I don't like the label that the NFC East is the easiest road as far as like getting to the playoffs and contending for a championship. Because even with the idea okay, even with the idea that the New York Giants as a whole aren't a good football team, one thing they always keep is a defense, and particularly that front seven, and particularly Dexter Lawrence, who's a top 5 defensive player in all of football. I will stand by that. Dexter Lawrence is a top 5 defensive player in football. I will stand by that. And then you look at a team, and then like you look at Dallas. I feel like Dallas and Philly are like the exact same as far as how they play defense. I mean, they're both front running defense who operate best when they have leads, and it's just like, even like if a team isn't doing well, I still feel like each team brings a unit to the table who's capable of winning that game, which is why I don't like the easy division labels and all that stuff, because Dallas might not have the greatest running game in the world. They have a killer pass rush when they have the lead, and they know how to put points on you. Philadelphia is the exact same way. The New York Giants, they might not have the greatest offense in the world. They have one of the best front sevens in football. And then you have Washington, whose offense just looks God tier already. And this guy's 6 game and starting quarterback. So I don't know. I hate it when we talk about divisions as far as like easiness and all that other stuff, because I feel like each team in that division still brings something to the table that's capable of beating somebody any given Sunday, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, we all thought Atlanta was going to walk away with the AFC or the NFC South, and look how good that division is besides Carolina. So
I'm happy. I'm happy that division is showing. This is how I feel about the NFC South. I ride and die with that division because it's just, I don't know, man. They always talk about the South teams and like teams in domes or teams that play in warm weather. It's like, oh, well, they don't travel on the road in the playoffs. They don't travel on the road in the playoffs. And it's like, I just want one of these teams to go to some place like Philly, to go to some place like you're not supposed to win 2002 Atlanta Green Bay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
No,
but
don't forget, Tampa Bay set the bet down.
Tampa Bay closed the vet. Tampa closed the vet. So it's like, it's not like NFC South teams haven't traveled up north and beaten teams in their building. So it's like, I am happy to see the NFC South playing good enough football to where we can say, oh, these teams can travel. These teams can go somewhere and beat somebody.
I do want to point out that Philly, their 2 losses are against Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not.
No, yeah.
Let's not like throw the dirt on them yet. Like, they lost to
the 2 best teams in the NFC South.
Yes, and they did beat Green Bay, who for all intents and purposes, we think is a Super Bowl contender. We didn't think Minnesota would be, the 89 Niners out of nowhere, but so I'm not ready to throw the dirt on Philly yet. They got Cleveland coming up this week. So I'm not ready to do that. They got Cleveland and the Giants back to back. Then they run into Cincinnati. They actually got a pretty easy schedule up until if you count Dallas as easy.
Right.
They got their next 5 games are Cleveland, the Giants, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, and Dallas. So I'm not ready to start questioning Jalen Hurts yet. Even Sirianni, I want to get to week 8, week 9 with them before I start.
Yeah, let's stop sizing them up while we eat. So
yeah.
You shot me while you eat.
You shot me while you eat.
You shot me while you eat. Shout out to Sports for You podcast, the best in the West, man. So shout out to the Sports for You podcast, man. I'll see y'all in a couple weeks, man. Shout out to Flash, expanded. Hell yes. Good job.
Hey, sports for you. I am always open for business. Y'all need to invite me. I'll be more than happy to come on.
Yeah. The best in the West. I call them the best in the West, man. Those guys, Gorilla, Mr. Watson, all those guys, man. Shout out to you. I call y'all the best in the West for a reason. Speaking of watch along, hey, gotta. I've been waiting on this all week long. Bad Blood. Thoughts. I mean, what are y'all's thoughts? I mean, what y'all think gonna happen? What I mean,
Flash, if you want to go first, go first.
Go ahead.
Hell in a Cell match was unexpectedly great. I didn't think that Punk had it in him. Also, some of the things that they did, like taking a headshot with a toolbox. I literally paused and went, "Oh, we're taking headshots now again." Okay.
Guess who directed that whole match? Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you're good.
Guess who directed and produced that match?
It's Abyss. Didn't
Abyss?
Yes.
Oh, why am I not surprised he directed that match?
He's actually directed a lot of the really top-notch matches in the last, like, I think
we didn't get an Abyss WWE run.
I know.
Like late in his career when he was still like a serviceable wrestler, I would have loved an Abyss WWE run. I would have loved it.
Yeah. It would have been interesting to see him versus Braun Strowman.
Ooh, that would have been a great match.
The match I would have loved to see was him versus Kane.
Yeah, Prime Kane. Yeah.
Prime Kane. Ooh.
Yeah.
Not Mayor Kane, Prime Kane.
No.
Not Mayor
Prime.
Kane.
Yeah. Like Brothers of Destruction era Kane.
Yes.
Like that
Back when they had to still dim the lights for Kane.
Yeah.
I think Kane lost all of his invincibility. They stripped him of that when they started turning the lights on doing his match. Because remember when he first got there, when they had the lights off and the whole arena was red, it was just like, oh man, can this? Remember, Mankind came out there and just hit him with everything except the kitchen sink, and it still couldn't stop him. So,
such a good character. I didn't think Hell in a Cell matches for me are always it's hard. I was really worried going into this that it wasn't going to turn out because we've seen such great Hell in a Cell matches over the years that I'm like, how do you top certain moments? And I got to admit that I underestimated Punk and McIntyre. I'll fully admit it. I didn't think they had it in them. And that was phenomenal. And it wasn't even just the headshots, but the way they told the story in the ring. It was just great. Punk collapsing. It was a total work. And obviously, but the way that they put everything out on the line with it was phenomenal. It just was phenomenal. It was just great. The Hell in a Cell match was phenomenal. What do you think, BRF?
You can definitely make a case. This is already a top 10 Hell in a Cell match of all time. I think it's knocking on the top 5 door in terms of action and storytelling. I haven't seen one this good since Batista Undertaker in 2007, Edge Undertaker 2008. I haven't seen one that good since. Because with the PG with the PG era, it's hard to really kind of put your all into a Hell in a Cell match because there was no blood. You couldn't bleed.
Well, yes, and they centered a whole pay-per-view around literally the match.
That took away a lot from a lot from the aura of the match too, because the Hell in a Cell, Hell in a Cell matches were there to settle blood feuds when it just gets too down and dirty, whether it's Undertaker Mankind, whether it's Triple H Shawn Michaels, whether it's Undertaker Batista, whether it's Batista Triple H, it's there to settle blood feuds. And basically creating a pay-per-view around that match took a lot of the aura away, because it's like now you only got 1 month to build up a Hell in a Cell match, and it shouldn't be like that. A Hell in a Cell match should be months of build up, months of fighting, and then ultimately get to the point where it's like, okay, we got to stop this. We end this now.
Wait,
and they did.
Was it
Go ahead.
better than Cody and Seth?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Even with the added narrative of Cody tearing his pec before the match, yes, it was better. For me, CM Punk Drew McIntyre is better than Cody Seth. Just simply, even with the story Cody and Seth was trying to sell, the way they wrapped everything up in that match and basically put a bow on it. Drew with the bag of beads symbolizing the bracelet, pouring it out on Punk. Just everything they did was just top notch. And then, like you talking about, CM Punk basically surviving the match, leaving the ring, but basically stumbling, falling all over the place to the point they're giving this man oxygen. Like, that is how you do a true Hell in a Cell match. That's how you're supposed to do it. You leave everything in that ring, and both of them are struggling to leave. Like, they do them up. They do each other up so bad. They're never the same. Like, that was top notch. I personally think the only match this year that is in the tier with CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and the Hell in a Cell match, as far as, like, if we're talking about match of the year candidates, Cody Roman is the only one that's in this tier, in my opinion. In terms of WWE, it's a top 2 match of the year with Cody and Roman. It's the only match in this tier.
Can we all agree that the best build up to a Hell in a Cell was Undertaker Batista?
No.
Hear me out.
I don't think so. I'll let you explain. I don't think so, but I want to hear why you think it's Undertaker Batista.
Because the thing is, they went through every single match until they got there. Remember, they went. I mean, and it was always a draw. Remember, they went to the regular match. Then they had the street fight. Then they had the steel cage match. Then they had another. Type of match at SummerSlam. Then they had a last man standing match. Remember the whole last man standing match? That was nobody could win that one. Then you know what? Then they took it another step further. It was like, look, y'all just beat the hell out of each other in the last man standing match. We put y'all in the steel cage match. You still couldn't settle it. We put you in every type of match that we could. You still couldn't settle it. It's always a draw. So guess what? We're going to put you in a match that you can't draw. Guess what? Hell in a Cell. There you go. So that's why I say that's the best build-up, because they went through every single match that was physically possible for there to be a distinct winner. And it never was. And it's just like, okay, when are we going to get this big payoff for at least one of these guys? And that big payoff was a Hell in a Cell.
I see your Undertaker Batista build up. I raise you Triple H versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, they was
Triple H and Shawn. But there's way more of narrative and storytelling for Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I mean, this is like, who is the best in I mean, as far as D-Generation X, who's the better of the two? And then it's like, you get SummerSlam 02, you get the unsanctioned match. And then it's just like constant brawling, constant skirmishing, and then you get the Royal Rumble. You get the last man standing match.
Don't forget,
and Armageddon 3 stages of hell after Shawn Michaels won the World Heavyweight Championship in the first Elimination Chamber match. You got Armageddon 3 stages of hell, and then you get the Royal Rumble Last Man Standing match, and then it's like, but then it was the direct build up after all of that. Even after all of that, the direct build up into their Hell in a Cell was every week. If they saw each other, it was on sight. It was on sight the second they saw each other, beating each other up in the parking lot, beating each other up in the ring, beating each other up backstage. It was on sight. Then Eric Bischoff just had no choice. He had to put them in Hell in a Cell. It was just the years of storytelling, and then every single match they had tore the house down that led up to Hell in a Cell. It was the full. That's why I feel the best build up was Triple H and Shawn Michaels, because there was years. That's years in the making.
I also think that Taker Shawn, the first one, is a phenomenal build up, just because of the whole obnoxious Shawn DX thing and how just the build, like there was no escape. And then you throw in the debut of Kane. Like, is that the best Hell in a Cell ever? The first one.
Which one? Undertaker Shawn?
Yeah.
The best match, best Hell in a Cell match ever, yeah.
I think the best bell to bell, yes.
Yeah.
Bell to bell.
I think Undertaker Shawn is still the best from bell to bell.
I think Triple H Taker is a close second.
Can I keep it a buck with you?
Yeah.
I think it's Cody Seth bell to bell.
Number 2?
Yeah, I think bell to bell is Cody Seth.
Yeah, but I just asked you if this one was better than Cody Seth, and you didn't think this one was, or you thought this one was.
You were talking about the build.
Well, I'm talking about this. Well, as far as build up. Bell to bell. I'm looking at two workhorses like Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and I don't want to sell them short. I don't know, man. The Hell in a Cell matches are hard to rank, but like I said, like CM Punk and Drew, boy, like in terms of overall build and storytelling, I think is better than Cody Seth. I think Cody Seth was a better like match, like just for the match itself. I still think Cody Seth is better.
And I also
but it's the build up for me.
Yes, and I also think I do think the storytelling was way better with Punk and McIntyre. But
way better.
But the moment Cody takes off his coat and you see his pec and his arm, you just go like that was. I'm gonna tell you right now, that was his. That's what put him over to be who he is now. That's his Austin. Like, remember Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13?
The bleeding and he passed out.
Yeah, was that WrestleMania 13 or Survivor Series that he bled out or bled?
That was WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania. Okay, because that was the submission match.
Yeah, so that's Cody. Cody's like taking the coat off. That's his Austin moment, like that, of like, oh, this dude's serious. Like that puts him over, because like I was just reading an article today that Cody is still number one in merch. Like when they were at Bad Blood, the only thing that outsold him when it came to merch was literal actual WWE Bad Blood merch. Is the only thing that outsold him. Cody is still this, like, except for when Roman came back at SummerSlam, or like in Roman and stuff like that, is like right underneath him. But Cody's still leading that. Like everybody that is complaining that he's not completely over, isn't paying attention. They just like to complain. But anywho, that's a whole nother topic. The rest of the pay-per-view, what did you think?
For me, I give the only reason the Hell in a Cell and like the last 10 minutes of the tag team match gives Bad Blood a 7 out of 10 for me. Because the middle of because from Bailey Nia Jax, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, that was all like you could have saw all that on TV. And even with the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan feud is losing so much steam because they're taking away from the championship and they're making it about Dominic Mysterio. And don't get me wrong, Dominic Mysterio has got an Intercontinental Championship in him in the next year or so.
Yes, he does.
But I don't like the fact that they're not focusing on the Women's World Championship, which is ultimately the backs of this is built off of that, and they're taking away the focus from it, and I don't like it. The Women's World Championship should not be second to Dominic Mysterio under any circumstance. It shouldn't.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think if Raquel Rodriguez or whatever doesn't botch the ending to that match, which why does she? Okay, I know she had a decent run in NXT and that's fine, but I just find her incredibly boring. I know I only really saw her as a face
because she's a better heel. She's a better heel.
I know. I've heard because all she was is like, look at my non-muscular back. Oh my God. And I can smile a lot. Ugh. Like, I just think that her botching that match kind of like, because it was a decent match. I also, the one thing that bothers me about Liv, I love me some Liv, and I do, and I argue the fact with like a couple of my buddies that she is doing phenomenal. That Oblivion move, she needs to figure out.
She needs to change that.
It's a good move if it's somebody that can take it properly, and if she doesn't miss the ropes, like she's got to go with her feet. She can't do the butt thing because you can't get any bounce back. Like she's relying completely on the opponent to completely make that bump look good. Like she needs to do. You remember when Trish used to do Stratisfaction or whatever, and she bounced off the top?
Yeah, she did.
I always think that Trish towards the end of her career when she couldn't get up, like she just couldn't, unless the like person was taller. Like I always maintain that Trish should have gone off the middle rope. I think Liv should go off of her feet because then you can springboard and like whatever and turn. It just when somebody doesn't know how to take it or it looks sloppy, it looks like a botch move all the time when they're in the ropes. That's my one complaint right now.
Honestly, I think if she just went with her code breaker as a finisher, she'd be straight. Cause Liv does an awesome code breaker.
Great code breaker. Yes, she does. She has a great code breaker. I think if she just went with that for a finisher, I'd be straight with it. Yeah, I'm just not a fan.
I've never been a fan of the Oblivion. I've never been a fan of it.
Oh, well, I've seen a couple decent people or like opponents take it right, and you're like,
Rhea takes it well.
She doesn't okay, but she doesn't. But then, like, if Liv doesn't, I don't know. If she just, I agree. I think she just should literally go with the code breaker, and that'd be it. But I'm okay with this back and forth because I look at the women's division right now. And they need like Becky's got to come back, Asuka's got to come back, Charlotte's got to come back, Alexa Bliss has to come back, like, and we're all kind of waiting, especially like on Alexa Bliss and Charlotte's knee and Alexa. I honestly, the reason why Alexa Bliss, in my opinion, hasn't come back yet is because they haven't figured out what to do with her yet. And so I think they're kind of, as much as I like them dragging out this Rhea and Liv thing a little bit more, because we really don't like, I think now Rhea's going to be distracted with, Rodriguez for a little bit or however. I'm kind of actually curious how they're going to do this. But I think they're dragging this out a little bit more. And what I read too is that they actually might want Liv versus Rhea at WrestleMania.
No.
I love Liv. I do. Don't get me wrong. But
They don't need to go that long.
To me, the match that I want to see at WrestleMania is I want Rhea and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania again. I want the rematch. And if you're gonna have Liv face anybody, to me, it's gonna be Alexa Bliss. But or you do a Shawn Diesel thing, and you do Liv versus Rodriguez at some Raquel. So I love Liv. I do. I think she's the best heel until Alexa comes back. She's the best female heel they have, like by far, in my opinion. It's like the character she's playing right now, she's doing a great job. But I don't need them to drag this out till WrestleMania. Like I don't. In my I would prefer like a match at Royal Rumble or Survivor Series or one of the next pay-per-views where it's Rhea to separate them two. The matches for the title, and whatever diva or whoever loses has to go to SmackDown or leave Raw.
Yeah,
and I think
I like that stipulation. I'm cool with it. With the Raquel angle, I'm cool with them taking it to the Royal Rumble, but that's as far as it goes.
To me, what I would do is I'd have Rhea lose, and then she's got to leave and go to SmackDown, and then hopefully Charlotte's back by then, and then you just have their thing. That's what I would like to see, and then you have Alexa come back to Raw because not only do you have Liv there, but you do have the Wyatt Six there too. So she's got ties to Liv. She's got ties to the Wyatt Six. She's got ties to that's the main two. So she could go to Raw. But that's my thing. Again, I don't. And honestly, Liv right now, she's getting to the point almost where her and Dom don't need that title to get the heat. They're just going to get natural heat. I also kind of want to see Liv turn on Dom and go with Finn at some point. That's the angle that I want to see, because that was kind of teased a little bit when she was trying to infiltrate. Remember, Finn took the hotel key.
I think it's going to get to that. I think it's going to get to that point eventually. I kind of see where you're coming from there.
That's the only way that I think you turn Dom baby face, is you have Liv turn on him.
Hey, look, got a big announcement to make to the audience out here. Thank y'all for always being supportive. Next week, I will not be writing this show.
Oh.
I will not be having any input on this show. By the way, I will be merely a second to the big three, because your new writers are sitting to my right, your left, for next week's show. So I will not be writing anything in this show. Your writers will be BRF and Flash. So the big three, just like, and you got to mirror how talented these two young men are. You just saw the last segment. I ain't said but 2 words. They carried that whole damn segment by themselves. That just goes to show you how talented they are. So next week, the show will have new writers, and those writers will be BRF and Flash, man. So, I know they're going to nail it. I don't really got to say too much of anything, man. They're going to hand us the script, and we're going to follow it through. But on that note, man, shout out to Columbus, Georgia. You did a good job tonight. If you know, you know. Make sure to follow my guys, Flash and BRF. Links below, in the ticker below. Look, hell of a football game tonight. Hell of a WNBA basketball game. Look out for all of us with our new content on TikTok as well as Instagram. Shout out to the Sports PSP podcast. You will see us on there tomorrow on a special edition. Shout out to PSP, always putting us on. Shout out to Flash and the Sports for You podcast. Flash expanding just like we knew he would, man. going on other podcasts and doing this thing. So we're definitely proud of Flash for doing this thing. And also proud of BRF for the wrestling show that he does on every Tuesday. The what's it called?
It's called the Takedown with my homies Elijah and CJ.
Okay. Yes, we're definitely proud, man. And that's what, and if you really want me to be honest, that's what the show is all about. It's not about us just being one place at one time. It's about us spinning off, being discovered, and us doing our thing and then coming right back together. That's what it's about. Let's expand, come back. Kind of like the click. You know what I'm saying? We expand. Expansion does not mean extinction in the great words of Shawn Michaels. But
I like that. That's a good saying. I like that.
Expansion is not extinction. So be mindful. Just because you expand does not mean we expect. We are extinct. Guess what? We get bigger when we spin off and then we bring it right back. Bring it right back home. Bring the goal right back home. But hey, man, proud of each and every last one of you. Like I said, I cannot wait to not have to write anything next week. So, I cannot wait to not write anything because I'm not touching the notepad. I ain't touching no legal pad. I ain't touching nothing. These are your two writers, and they're gonna knock it out the park. Matter of fact, I am so excited right about now, man. And next week is a very special day for me. I will be 37. So,
woo, let's go.
So, hey, on that note, yeah, old as hell, but hey, man, look, hey,
I can say that because I'm older than both of you jokers.
Yeah,
No,
I'm old, but I mean, hey, man, I'm just not hitting my. I'm in the great words of the great Doc Holliday. I'm still in my prime.
So in my prime, exactly.
I'm still in my prime.
I'm still in my prime.
But on that note, man, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Shout out to the Sports for You podcast. Shout out to Sports PSP podcast. Shout out to the Throwdown. Shout out to the Takedown. Shout out to every single podcast. Shout out to Hot Take Kenny. Shout out to Trent. Shout out to Mario Knows Best. Shout out to Maddie, who was down there in Florida, man. Be safe in the hurricane. And shout out to the state of Georgia, the state of Florida. Shout out to everyone who's being affected by the hurricane. Your thoughts and prayers are with you. And on that note, nothing but love and peace to all of you. We are gone. See you next Thursday.